Hi, you're welcome. I'm blackhotfire Network. Good evening from Kampala, Uganda. It's Africa Mariah. I'll be all doing good. The weather is good today. Of course, hot in the studios. Or whatever. War. Whatever. Anyway, so tonight, today, we're going to have quite a sensitive topic that affects or touches a lot of black people in Africans in Africa now. We usually discuss about as Africans and the black people over the world uniting. We talk about, we can only prosper if we unite. Everything can be okay if we unite, if you unite with the same common language. We have to give up the boundaries, the demarcation that we are created by our colonial masters. We have to do away with everything that Mzungu introduced to Africa and all that. But we skip one very, very important thing. Before even you speak or preach about unity, love for each other is a very, very important aspect in unity. Because we can never achieve unity when we are so divided or when we do not love or take care of each other. We've seen this within the Black people in Africa at large, from families to the societies and the communities, and even in diaspora, actually. Um, Hello, Lando. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Lando is right in the building. You're welcome, Lando. So today we are discussing about unity. We can never preach about unity without love, because love is the first aspect. And a lot of black people and Africans, both in Africa and in diaspora, do not really respect this. We got a lot. I'm sorry. This is my big brother. I'm so sorry, guys. I got to take this phone. It has been long since something. Wait, let me mute the microphone. Hi, bro. Sorry, that was my big brother. There is no way I could not pick his. We've been looking for him for some time. So everyone was asking me where he was at. So I'm sorry for that. I really needed to pick that call. It was very, very important. So we usually talk about us uniting, which is of course a very, very important thing. But I realize that a lot of black people do not respect or even love each other. We do not feel that sense of oneness and feel to love and take care of another. Okay, we've seen this in different ways, from marriage to our daily life. I'm going to give you an example of I will use an example of Lando because it's the one who has just dropped in a comment. So I'm going to give you an example. Lando comes down to Uganda, for example, and because Lando is a black man, and the moment he opens his mouth like to ask the price of something, and whoever is selling that thing realizes that Oh, Lando's accent is definitely not a Ugandan, or is definitely or Ghanaian or Kenyan or Nigerian, whatever it is. And this is done all over Africa. It has got nothing to do with Africa's country, but this is how Africans treat each other. The first thing that is going to cross their mind is how to hike the price of whatever they are selling. Simply because Lando's accent is not the same accent like the people around. Orlando doesn't even know how to speak the native or the local language. Orlando seems to be an African who is crossing the border where they are. So one thing they're going to do is to hide the price of whatever Orlando wants to buy. Instead of like saying, brother, you're welcome. Let's show, if it was me, this would be me actually. Instead of you saying, hey, where you come from? Okay, I come from Ghana, or I come from Kenya. So this is your first time here? You know what? The price is this. And, you create that to make them feel that even though they are far away from their mother and father, they have come home. Africans don't do that. They don't really do that. But let Mzungu calm down. Is that why everybody wants to show Mzungu? I can even give you this for free. You know what? Have you ever tested this? You can eat this. It is for free. And you can see this in everywhere in Africa, that other Africans who do not speak the language they do are treated, they are treated in a bad way. Okay, they are treated in a cold way, which should be actually the opposite. Now, you cannot talk about us uniting when even the simplest thing you cannot do for your fellow African, just because this person does not speak the same language with you, just because this person does not come from the country where you are. Look at the marriage. A lot of African parents, their daughters go out there, their sons go out there, probably because people have been moving all over the world and falls in love with an African girl, and just because she comes from another country, and parents start rejecting these children. Okay, in all the people you decided to marry a Ugandan girl, or did you decide to marry a Kenyan man? Okay, so you chose to marry a Rwandese. Are you serious? You're taking a Nigerian man? Why should parents have that stereotype or that kind of rejection towards other Black people? But if your daughter brings a Mzungu home, ooh, that is the greatest thing she can ever do. Nobody's going to question this Mzungu's character. Nobody's going to ask who is the mother or father of this Mzungu. Nobody's going to ask the the records of this Mzungu, whether she was a criminal or not. Nobody cares. The only thing is the mom or the dad or the mom of the lady or the man is going to be so grateful and happy that their child has brought a Mzungu home. But you just cross your borders, go and bring a Congolese. In this entire country, you decided to choose a Congolese man. You never saw Ugandan men. You didn't see this Kenyan man around here. You decided to choose this very man because Africans feel like other Africans are the worst. And I will just say that I'm so blessed. I don't know. I don't know. I've not seen my family behave like that before. I've not seen my family behave like that, but this, at least I've seen such kind of things happening all over. And I know you all have experienced this. You have seen this at least in 1 or 2, 3 of your friends, experiencing this kind of behavior within the Black people. Why do we feel like we need justification? Why do I need justification to a Black person? Why do I need that hypocrisy within ourselves? Why do I need to justify the fact that I chose that particular man? Simply because he does not speak the same language with me. He does not speak at the same tribe he comes from, across the borders. Oh, he's a black man. Why do I need to justify the love I feel for this person, for both my family, to both my family and the entire society? The next thing, people from the man are going to be like, so you decided to choose this lady from the other side. Why did you choose that? Why did you choose her? For what reason? Give us, everyone needs justification. Everyone needs, answers as to why you are choosing. But nobody ever questions anyone who decides to go and get married to a Mzungu. You can look at the distance. How far is Europe? How far is, the US for those Bazungus who live over there? How far is Russia? How far is China? How far is those other outside countries which are not on Mamaland? How far are they? But somebody who's just close needs justification. You need to tell us why you choose that, and even if you give them the perfect answer, they are still not satisfied with that. Because why did you even go and decide to marry that? And then, of course, all over social media, you'll hear people talking about Africa unite. We need to unite. We need to be one, but they forget the most important thing. And there can never be unity. If you travel outside Africa, there is nothing you will find. You will never go to a store and you find prizes made for, anyway, maybe because most of the things have prices labeled on them, especially in the store. And in Africa, you just go and ask. So it is someone who's selling, who knows, who sets the price of what they are selling. I guess maybe that's why complications come along. But if it was that Africans feel that huge love for each other, I would rather sell something cheaply to someone who has just come down to my home, because that is what they used to call hospitality. And if you look at history, even before the days of our ancestors, you would even give your food for free to a stranger to show them that this place is where peace reigns. This place is where love reigns. This place, to show them that you're home. Unlike today, you don't come around, you don't travel, and somebody identifies you like you're not a native and expect to buy things at the same price with others or at a cheaper price. The prices are going to hike like 5 times. The hypocrisy, simply because they know you do not understand this. And when you come, more especially when you do not understand the money, the currency these people are using, it gets more worse. Everyone wants to play around with your emotions. Everyone wants to play you for a fool. Everyone thinks that they have the right, to do all the bullshit simply because you cannot speak. And yet, whoever has come to your country is someone who is very delicate. These are people who need directions. These are people who need to be told what to do. Even you may look at them eating something which is not right. You have even a right to tell them, you just tell them the truth, because people don't really know what is going on around the country you're living at. But Africans take advantage of that, and they are these, I want to take you around people. Woo, you rather walk alone. Because with their smiles, with their fake smiles, and this kind of, I'm showing you what to do, you think you're with the right people. You rather maybe move along with just someone you just come across, which is not right. Which is not right. Because a lot of Africans have been, a lot of Africans have been scammed by their fellow Africans. A lot of them have been cheated. A lot of them have even been killed by their fellow Africans because of greed, the hypocrisy, I don't know. Oh, I cannot even call it carelessness. It is just total evil, the greed that they do really exercise. Why shouldn't I be so happy when I see, for example, a South African person in my country, and I'm like, you speak South African? Yeah, I do. I mean, I hear Zulu. I am. So you're Bantu. I mean, and I want to know about your country when I see you. This is me. So I want to know. So you really look like me. I mean, look at your skin. Are you okay? How do you experience the sun here? How do you feel? Have you even eaten one of our food here? Or would you like to test some food? This is how Africa should be. And this is how an African who cares for another African should really behave. There is nothing like borders. It doesn't matter to me whether you're a Kenyan, a Tanzanian, Rwandese, except the Somalis that I saw killing people like shit. Ah, man, whenever those people cross my mind, I just, there is too much of tribalism. Demarcation lines, indoctrination, and religion are some of the social engineering tools used to create confusion and self hatred in order to confuse Black folks, self love, and knowledge of. That's a great comment, of course, like always from London, Winter. Thank you so much for that. I've not seen Danny Harrison. I've not seen General Mosquito, K. Washington, Jibby Jabba. Where is Jibby Jabba? I didn't even see him yesterday. But I've not seen Dwight Davidson. Probably yeah, he was driving. So I've not seen but yeah, everybody. Big cheers. Kerr Williams, Robert Williams, Caesars Williams. I gotta know your names, I'm Jack. I will know all your names, more especially those ones who come on my life. That's I promise. The time I'll be reading your names, my fingertips. Though I don't know your faces, but it's okay. I know your name. I know Lando's face. And of course, Jibijaba. And I'm second one, General Mosquito. Robert Williams now. Ken Williams now. Big cheese. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for coming through. Big cheese is right here. Thank you. Thank you for coming through, Big Cheese. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, what do you think could be the reason as to why Africans really do not express love to one another? I'm not like gonna say a lot because I believe a lot of us here on blackhotfire network would really love to express love for one another. So maybe a lot of people are ignorant, and probably some of them have not experienced the other side of the world, or maybe they have not been given a chance, or probably they're just evil. Should I use that word? But of course, we've seen a lot, starting from families, okay, starting from relationships, starting from a relationship of a man and a woman. A lot of Black people have not had, somebody else tell them, as much as people say self-esteem is very important, don't mind about what other people are saying and all that. We don't. Like me, I don't really mind what other people think or say about me, but I love to make other people feel good. It's just me. So I love to make other people feel good because I know it's very important. It's very important in their life, emotionally, psychologically, it's a good thing. So I love making people feel, you know, good. So if we look at we as the Black people, we always talk about not dating outside. Don't go and lay with this mayonnaise people. Don't do that. Don't do this. And the truth is, A lot of both the black men and black women have not received positive love from their very own people, from home to the streets to their circles to their friends. I don't want to use the word niggas, right? Around their hood and everything, they have not been taught that they are very important. They have not been taught that they are beautiful. You're beautiful. You see, you're being raised by a mother, and probably you have siblings with whom you don't share the same father, and maybe their dad was mixed. Oh, he's Mzungu, and their skin type is a little bit different from yours. And yeah, your father was a real original black man with no diluted blood whatsoever. And you have to live with your siblings who have another different skin type. And you hear everybody looking at them all the time. They're cute. Look at this cute. And then you're just standing around by yourself, and nobody's saying you're cute because you're just all two blood. Nobody's really telling you this. And as you grow up, you see like there is too much attention. These are the people are, creating around. And the same thing, you don't feel the same thing. And the same thing goes when you wish to have a relationship. You backlash, somebody else is shaming your skin, and probably you talk to a lady and she's like, "You're too black, then talk to me. I don't want to have so black, dark skin babies from you." And this is a fellow black woman saying this, you know, and this is actually so the people in power teaches us and the world at birth to be anti-African, using the media showing us a worthless people. That is the comment from Big Cheese. I agree with you for sure. I agree. Just like the people in Africa have a feeling that every black American is a thug. Every black American is a thug. So the moment they look at their child becoming, a nuisance, they'll be like, they always use that kind of character, but I wouldn't say that because it's not a good thing to say though, but they would, um, categorize them, okay? Like with the black Americans, because this is what the media shows us. The media shows us that, black American men are thugs, they're drug dealers, they're thugs, they're everything. And of course, the black American women, they're whores, they're warriors, everything. And I know also that black Americans outside Africa also have another picture when it comes to the African men and African women. So there is a way media has really created that rift between us. It has created that huge boundary of insecurities and hatred and a stereotype, a negative stereotype that makes us feel like I cannot cross that line with those guys. I cannot do this. I mean, these guys are that. You see, the mainstream, just like a Big Cheese says, that for them their mind is created to to be anti-African, through the media, like the mainstream. So the same thing happens here. Okay, the same thing happens down here. And yes, I know there are still some other people who don't know. We got some other people who are black and they live outside Africa, and those are the people who are not in the mainstream. Those are people who are in the deep places in Africa. Those are people who are in the villages down in Africa. They're in the rural areas in Africa. They don't have a lot of time to sit on TVs. And if at all they have sat on TVs, they're gonna watch probably some action-packed movie where black people are the veteran. Maria, if black folks had unity to other groups or races could survive and function, this is reasons why black must be maintained by dysfunctional in all aspects of our existence. This is like I guess that's why they try so very much to keep us, disunited. They brainwash people that the farther you are from black skin color, the better you are in a society. Exactly. Just like an example I was giving you guys. I choose to marry. I say I'm gonna marry probably a Kenyan man. Okay, Kenya may be so close. Uganda may allow you to marry a Kenyan man. Yeah, they will because they have a lot in common. Let me jump. I say I'm gonna marry probably a Ghanaian man or a Congo. Yeah, Congo is also close. Whatever. So when you choose to marry these people, the first question they will ask, why did you choose to marry this man? Now, this man is black. We got all the similar features. He may even looking like my dad. He may even be having the same features like my father. That even my mom, fell for my dad and they were together and they gave back to me. This man may even look 100% like my father. But the fact that this man does not come from Uganda, or this man does not come from Kenya, or this man does not come from Congo, the parents will start to question why, of all the men, you chose this particular man, despite of this man being black and African. Okay? But nobody's gonna question you when you choose a Mzungu. Nobody's gonna question you. Everybody's gonna give you a loud applause. Everybody's gonna be so, our daughter is so beautiful that a Mzungu chose her, really. Okay? Because if our daughter really has managed to bring us a Mzungu down here, nobody's going to question whether this Mzungu is a terrorist. They don't know whether this Mzungu is a thug, because even the Zungus are thugs. We got them. They don't care whether he's a murderer, a criminal, whatever. But he's a Mzungu. The entire village, the entire community is going to be so grateful for your daughter having brought a Mzungu, and every parent is going to be using your daughter as an example. You see, Maria brought us a Mzungu. What are you waiting for? What are you going to do? Why not bring us a Mzungu? You have to befriend Maria so that she can tell you how she did that and everything. And they will talk about that for almost the entire year, for the entire existence of you having that Mzungu. Until the time you're passing by, they will even say, we are praying for you so that you can stay together. Nobody nowadays blesses a marriage of a black man and a black woman anymore. They don't really care. Nobody's going to pass and say, we bless your marriage because you two black people don't care. Whatever. But you get married to Mzungu, the entire village may even have a mass in church for you for having married in Mzungu. Now you can look at that. You can look at that. Now, getting married to a Mzungu is a very big achievement, actually. I even see that through some social media, TikTok, YouTube stuff. Ladies having this Bazungu men and men, they like, sure, this is an achievement. I don't know. I would love really to see a lot of black people who are married to each other also show us, that great achievement. I would really love to. But I guess they don't come out there because they feel the society doesn't want to know. Does not want to know about this interracial relationship, and they respect that more than any other relationship until things go south. That's when you know you were in the wrong place. Society is very good at judging until everybody coming out to blame you how the wrong choices you made and all that. They were excited with you making that choice, and now that things go sour, they start blaming you. Sometimes that's society anyway. So we lack that love. We lack that love, to the point that we are even scared of each other. I've I've watched some videos where some Nigerians in the broad daylight on live videos declare that they hate Black Americans. They hate Black Americans. And somebody sits the entire 3 hours on the microphone. He's talking about the hate he has for Black Americans. I hate them. And you feel the passion of hate he has, and you're like, what are you even doing in America? And why are you hating these people? The hate is just too much that even someone is sweating on the microphone, really. And this is your fellow Black man. You're talking shit about that you hate. So I don't know. I don't want to discuss about why Nigerians will be hating the Black Americans or whatever, because I've also seen South Africans like, we hate the Nigerians, we hate the Ghanaians, whatever. I've seen that too. So, in the Nigerians probably will say they hate us simply because we be taking their women and how. So how is that a very important thing anyway? You'll be taking those fools anyhow. You don't, as a man, you just don't feel proud of taking somebody's wife, and that's being stupid. You'll be taking someone's wife. Why? So you mean among all the women around, you have to take somebody's wife, and then that's what makes you feel like a man? Or are you that dumb and stupid? There are things people shouldn't be bragging about with, like, I took her man, and it's very and you're sick in the mind. So you're bragging because you took somebody's man, so that is an achievement to you. Really? How did you be, Gerber? Ooh, how are you doing? How you doing good? Happy to see you. Jibjaba has come through too. Jibjaba, we are discussing about African unity, and well, I'm saying that we can never have unity if we do not have love for one another. If we do not have love for one another, because of course love comes with respect, love comes with the trust, and trust is not only about relationships, it goes beyond. I want to feel alright when I step out of Kampala, or when I step out of Uganda and I enter Kenya. I want to feel safe around the Kenyan people. I want to feel respected. I want to feel safe around them. I want to move to Tanzania and feel safe around these people. The same thing happens when I go to South Africa and in every part. It is okay for me to feel unsafe when I step out of Africa. It is just okay. You can do whatever you feel like you want to do, because I'm not in Africa. But it is not right for me to feel unsafe when I'm outside, when I'm just inside Africa. That I travel to Kenya and I feel so unease being around. Whenever I travel to Kenya, there is a Uber guy who usually rides me. I'll call it Uber because that's what you will understand very fast. But he's not basically a Uber guy. He's just a usual border. We call it border. A motorcyclist. He's he's a kind of cool guy. Last time when I was there with my mom, he's the one who was taking us around. And he's a cool guy. We still, had his contact. He took us down there. We saw there's some other stuff they were cooking down there, and we were like, wow. But that's the beauty of a country. So he took us down the ghettos, he took us up to the industrial areas, he took us where the ladies sell a lot of wigs, whatever, all the things ladies use. So he took us all over the entire Nairobi, and even the suburbs around. So every morning we are calling this guy, hey, come over. He writes us, me and my mom. The next time we call him like that. He was a cool person. So I really appreciated that guy. And this was somebody, at times I go to buy something, say, don't buy that. So I wanted to buy a phone, and it was like, by the way, keeps on telling me that things in Kenya are very cheap. But at that time when I wanted to buy a phone, um, so I realized that the phones even were a little bit expensive. Where we went, we found a lot of Somalis selling phones, and I could not find the particular phone I wanted, but the other phones were expensive. So he was like, how much is this phone in your country? So I told him, then he was like, if you calculate this into your currency, that means if you buy this phone here, it's going to cost you more than your phone, than buying it in your country. And actually, I didn't even buy it. I didn't buy that phone because he told me so. But I went thinking that I'll buy a phone. I guess phones are only cheap when you buy. Who is that? What do you want? Okay, you buy. On that market. Cry to your old too, I guess. So that guy, yeah, I know he was, of course, benefiting because every route he rode us, we were supposed to pay, but he made us feel so comfortable around him. He respected my mother because that's, and by the way, that's the most important thing for me. He respected my mom. At one time, I was calling him mom, mom, and mom was also calling him son. My mom is just an easygoing person. And I guess she also liked the guy because he had that huge, giant body structure like the sons. So he felt like he's really around his real sons with that guy. So I still have his contact, and I believe whenever I'll be traveling to Kenya, I'll at least give him a call, like, we are here. Because he showed us, you know, he was a cool guy, and this is what Africans need to behave like. This is how they need to behave like. This is what they need to be when it comes to people who are just new in their places compared to what and how they really act. Some others will lower you to other places where you're going to be, you know, pickpocketed, even to other places where some others may even end up, being killed. But when you find someone genuine, it's okay. And even it's okay for me to give you a little bit of, appreciation, because this is, we don't hardly see this in Africa today. Okay. But Africans lack that. You don't need to speak the same language with me for me to, me, and with me, I think I'm not all that lucky, because the times I go to buy something, um, you'll ask for a price of something and somebody is telling you double that price of that thing. I don't know. And if somebody else, that's why when I go with the people I know, like the border people I know, they usually say, you know what, Maria, I'm gonna buy it for you. So I'll just stand aside. I guess maybe they do this to women because some African businessmen think that every money a woman gets comes from a man. So first of all, she's not the one who has worked for this money. Somebody else has given her this money. So they got that cheap mentality in their mind. And they got this cheap mentality. If I'm selling this and if this person is not from my area, definitely he doesn't know that price. I'm going to hike it 3, 4, 5 times higher. So that, but is this how we are supposed to treat visitors? Is this how you're supposed to treat a black person who among all the countries decides to come and visit your country? Is this how you're supposed to treat that person who jumped, I don't know, how many boundaries to come to your country for whatever reason that may not concern you, but that shows this person has interest in your country, probably because nobody wants to go where they are not loved. Nobody wants to go where there is no love. Nobody wants to go where they're not respected. Nobody wants to go where they don't find peace. Nobody wants to. And then for you, instead of giving them the peace, you have to give them, that feeling, that cold feeling. Respect, trust, and kindness should be universal among us. That is Jib Jabba. Thank you for that great comment. Correct, we're all black. Okay, Big Cheese was saying hi to you. Jib Jabba. So it is true. Respect, truth, and kindness should be universal. Because I don't know how I will meet somebody even I don't know. You have not done anything wrong to me, and definitely simply because you're not speaking my language, and I hate you, and I start feeling hate towards you, and I just hate you. Except that, there is a video I watched of a Ugandan soldier. Actually, I think I'll share that. I'll really share that in the group. He was being beheaded by other African, I guess, rebels or Somalis, but this guy was a mulatto, the one who was cutting. And I guess they were cutting him with a blunt panga. And this guy just said, like, because his spot, I guess they cut his throat, and he was bleeding, and he spoke a word like, mama. I guess he called his mother. And this guy was cutting. He was trying to move this side and the other side. It's not that I love to watch violent things, but at times it's very important that I see such kind of things, because now there is a way I'm beginning to understand. Anyway, I'm light, so I'm not going to say a lot, but that field made me, I felt like I really want to join the army so that I can go there and I at least kill one person. I'm sorry. I'm telling you the truth. And at least I kill one person and I just leave the army. I just leave and I go back. Just I kill one person like this is enough for me. Because seriously, I don't know. And then this person was speaking, by the way, in Swahili. This mulatto was speaking in Swahili. And after doing that, he brought a little boy. The reason that I really felt angry with this entire thing, a boy who was like 4 years, and he gave him the panga and was like, finish him. And this boy, I'll share you guys with this video. He was cutting this guy's throat. And as he was shouting, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, hey, Allahu Akbar, until I guess this guy's blood oozed and he died. You can now understand, we are living in a very crazy world. And me, according to me, I didn't want to talk about this, but I will definitely talk about it, yeah? A lot of African countries are under the United Nations, mission. And there is no way an army of a given country will go. Now, this is off topic. I'm so sorry. There is no way an army of a given country will move to go for, peace mission without the United Nations agreement. Now, this is something that a lot of people talk about, but they do not really understand how this thing runs. The United Nations writes an appeal, an application inviting the countries in Africa to participate in the peace missions. Now, when you go to the war zones in these peace missions, most of this, we have not had a lot of people die because everyone has been living in their zones and everything like that. The people who have drones at the American peace mission, the peacekeepers, in these workplaces. They have got drones, they have got sensors, they have got helicopters. And when they're in their mission, their helicopters do not really move far. They're always moving at the tree levels, at the vegetation levels, like at the level of a tree. Now, we hardly see American helicopters and, other stuffs being hit down. Now, Uganda goes ahead and signs the LGBTQ that puts a very strong penalty on those people who practice homosexuals and whatever the entire chain LGBTQ squad. And this one becomes it hits so hard. So as people are carrying out the peace missions, it is usually the Americas drones and surveillances that alert these other African peacekeepers that, you know what, and such a meter away from this zone or this base on this angle and whatever, there is somebody who is coming. We are having rebels marching towards this center. And of course, the communication goes through all over. The communication goes through all over all the African mission peacekeepers in wherever place they are at. So they will get to know because they have got those people who are Roger 1-2 on that mission, on that base, listening to whatever is going on. So those who are ready on call, of course. And as of recent, we see these drones pass. And actually, to cut that story short, we had a lot of Ugandans. And actually, the funniest and the most painful thing, most of these children were just young Ugandan children. None of them is even up to 30 years. None of them is even up to 28 years of age. These were young children who were newly trained, and 30 of them actually, with some young girls, of course, were arrested by this Al-Shabaabs. But my biggest question is, did these drones see these people coming to that base? And why is it that it is okay for the American drones to move all over these rebels camps and they are never shot? Neither are their helicopters shot. Everything about the Americans is never touched. If you look at the statistics, definitely these people sold the communication. Instead of telling these others, I guess, that the rebels are marching towards you, they rather told the rebels that, the Ugandans are down somewhere because they've got the drones up in the sky watching every movement with their surveillances and everything. Anyway, whatever. I think this goes back to the government having signed those laws that, of course, penalizing the LGBTQ, faculties and whatever cults. And these people are doing that a lot. And actually, a lot of people are debating about this, and everyone is saying that there is a lot that is coming to Uganda, whatever. So people do not have the right to decide what they want anymore. If America wants something, is what you should do. If you do not agree with their choices, that means your life is in danger. So a lot of them are withdrawing their funds. They're taking away their funds. I don't know why they have their funds. Last time, they came out and wrote a list that most of the courses that Ugandans are doing in Uganda actually expired. So they expire. So that means we study what they want us to study. So if they say, if you're going to study these kind of units have to be in your syllabus, if you remove that, we are not going to reward the credits, or we are not going to give you the certificates of graduation. So a lot of youths at that time went berserk. Every social media, all those ones who graduated some years back went crazy. So a lot of shit been happening since That day that man signed that contract. So you come out and decide to say for those who graduated like since 2015 until now, their their documents are not credited. You don't accept that credit. They have studied for free for how many years now? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 24, 9 years. And you start telling the youth that for whatever course, and if you see the courses they chose, these are courses that a lot of youths actually, partake here in Uganda. So you can see the matrix, you can see the game that is going through. And all these institutes were bringing out documents to show that they cleared everything with a UCHE, the United, but of course, this is all because the government signed that LGBTQ. So I guess they want to bring a lot of disorganization in the country, a lot of, you know, of youths, of course, now putting on the unemployment. They're also bringing that, and yet the schools are having proof that they cleared everything that is needed, for them to credit the certificates. But at that time, I think most of the certificates that were the bachelors and the diplomas, and a lot of youths actually went crazy until it was corrected. Um, the United Council of Higher Education from the United States of America decides whether Ugandans should be accredited. It decides if you're going to do this course, this is what you should study. You don't go beyond. If you're going to do history, just don't teach them bullshit. This is what they need to know. If you teach them something else, they're never going to be credited. Like, seriously. Like, seriously, why do Africans need, creditation from those other institutions? Then don't we have the knowledge? Don't we have, you know, the ability at least to credit ourselves? But rather, Zungu should put a stamp on something. But you can see how crazy the situation is down here. But here, people really want Ugandans to accept homosexuality. But I'm looking at a lot of Africans coming together to support Uganda in this, and they're like, we're together with you. So thank you for standing out. I guess that's what they're saying. But I hope they're really together. And I guess Uganda they're going to put a high sanction on Uganda. We are seeing trade, except Putin comes in and says, don't give a damn. Russia got your back, and we also know what Russia is in for. So, whatever, this matrix never ends. This political game never ends. Anyway, thank you so much for those who are watching, and for those who are just coming in right now, for those who will watch a replay. Thank you so much for loving blackhotfire Network, and of course, loving my shores. Big Cheese, thank you so much. GB Jabba, thank you so very much. Lando Winter, thank you so very much for always dropping your comments. The three of you, thank you very much for those great comments that we dropped through. I've not seen the likes of Cat Williams, Robert Williams, and the race. I've not seen them come through, but I hope they'll have a rewatch or a replay of this show. Thank you very much, guys, for always being here. Stay tuned on blackhotfire Network. A lot of beautiful things coming your way. It is me, Africa Mariah, blackhotfire Network. Bye-bye.